Hey guys, I just wanted to give this a little message out. Just wanted to say thank you guys for waiting so long. I know I've been saying for the past couple of months now that I was going to have this out, and what can I say? I'm just a stickler about a lot of things. But then I realized, this is a new segment. There's going to be some pitfalls here and there, and I'm just going to have to overcome them and just improve them as I go along, like I did with Faceless reviews. So yeah, but again, thank you guys for being patient, and I hope this does well. I plan to keep this. I'm gonna try to make this a 2 week thing instead of a weekly thing, but we'll see what happens. And I'm gonna say this in the video, but I'll say it here too. That if you guys have any other suggestions of movies that you want me to review, just leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, you guys waited long enough, so here we are. Without further ado, here's episode 1.
Hi, Faceless here, and welcome to Amateur Film Night, a segment devoted to reviewing films posted on YouTube or any other website by amateur filmmakers. Being that this is a new segment, there's going to be a few changes here and there as we go along. However, the content that I'm going to be presenting is going to be at the same level, if not better, than Faceless reviews. But, with that being said, let's kick off the first episode with a review on Stormwatchers. Produced by Zebcast Studios, this film is based on Alan Moore's The Watchmen. And if you don't know what The Watchmen is about, it's basically a superhero / crime fighting team that comes out of retirement after one of their own is mysteriously murdered. This film pretty much follows the original plot, but with a few key point changes here and there. They give us unique characters, and I have to say, it's pretty damn creative. Set in 1993, our main character, Korzov, is investigating the death of one of his fallen comrades and is convinced that a much bigger sinister plot is taking place. He goes around and reunites his former teammates who have been in retirement since the 1970s. Once a team is reassembled, they go and investigate all possible leads that led up to the death of their fallen comrade. But as they uncover more secrets to this mysterious murder, our heroes find themselves in a moral situation where the good of the many outweigh the few. As I said before, this film borrows heavily on the elements that make up The Watchmen. Plot-wise, the story does have its differences, but it does seem to have that beat-for-beat feel to it. At first glance, most people will say that this film is a cheap knockoff of the original, and it lacks originality. And to be fair, I kinda agree. Mostly. While it's somewhat a carbon copy of Alan Moore's work, there are some original ideas in this piece of fan fiction. Even though the characters resemble the counterparts from the original franchise, they do have unique backgrounds, which can be viewed on the channel's video listing. They have short videos of the character's description and history, and if you watch these videos before viewing the main film, you get a good idea of who is who and what they represent. The actors of this film are okay, but the hardest thing that the viewers will have to accept is the fact that these are children playing adult roles. Asking to suspend your disbelief as far as their age is concerned is somewhat of a tall order. At some points, it's hard to see them as veterans of a crime-fighting organization from 20 years ago. The dialogue in this film was written fairly well to some degree, however, some of the delivery of the lines need a little work. One gripe I have concerning the dialogue would be the character Lionheart, played by Jamie Troncoso. Now, I understand he has a heavy accent when he's speaking English, but to be honest, it kinda put me off when they had to put subtitles so we could better understand him.
What? Like you're all full?
Yeah. Now, I will give praises to the character Korzov, played by Aidan Woodward. He delivered his lines really well, and the part that he played kept my interest going in this film. The action is somewhat what you would expect from a low-budget film of any sort. You can see where they pull their punches and that the choreograph could use a little work, but they stayed in the boundaries of simplicity and kept away from the ridiculous flips and extraneous martial arts. The editing of this film could use a little tune-up. For instance, as our heroes are escaping, the camera focuses on the bad guy and the shot lingers a little too long before fading into the next scene. And there were a few special effects used, but mostly green screen work. It wasn't overused and just used long enough to get the point across. As the flow of the whole plot, it was consistent. However, there were a few bumps here and there, but overall, it was understandable and I enjoyed it. As I said before, you're going to have some people that watch this film and think this is a cheap knockoff of The Watchmen. However, if you look at it in the light of this is a tribute film to Alan Moore's original work, then you can sit back and enjoy it for what it is. Taking account of all the resources they had, or lack thereof, with a next to nothing budget, it's kind of impressive. And I'll admit, after watching this film, I had to give it a lot of thought of what I was going to rate it. There was some good, and then there was some bad. It caused me to be right in the middle, so therefore, my final rating is a C. And I'll say this again, I am impressed of what they had with the lack of resources and budget. I'm really interested in see what their next project's going to be. Well, this wraps up the first episode of Amateur Film Night. If you guys like what you see, please leave a comment below, let me know what you think. And if you have any suggestion of films you want me to review in the future, please leave a comment below as well. But with that being said, this is Faceless, signing off.
Peanut butter disaster.